Good evening, guys, and happy Friday to all of your sunshiny faces. I don't know what day it is, guys, but it is Friday. We're gonna go to Jewel and to Aldi. We have to make just a quick run, and then also to Menards tomorrow. But today we ended up doing projects sort of in the morning. We got to a lot of stuff. One thing I'm going to share with you guys, and then also too, we ended up doing sort of like I was telling you guys, like our family kind of, we were doing a little bit of kind of early New Year's Eve celebration because my mom's gonna have to work. She has to go in for work at 11 o'clock, or that's when she has to leave to go to work. She starts work I think at 11:30. So like I said, she gets there at like 11 o'clock and has to leave, so she won't be celebrating New Year's Eve with us tomorrow. And also too, because she has to take her nap before she winds up going in for, you know, night shift. So again, her day tomorrow is going to kind of be off, and so some of our traditions of, you know, celebrating for New Year's Eve is going to be a little bit different. So what we are planning on doing today was just sort of like movies and games, and we were gonna grill. So that's what we ended up doing for today. So again though, earlier in the day we ended up getting to, you know, projects and stuff like that, which like I said I'll share with you guys. But then in the afternoon we ended up grilling. We ended up doing steaks because a couple of years ago, I don't know why, Jack was just like, oh, you know what would be really fun is to just like make New Year's like our grilling tradition, because it's always really cold outside, and to just go out and like grill, like, you know, kind of as an unexpected reason just to like fire up the grill when it's normally cold and sometimes snowing outside. You know, it's kind of just a fun, you know, like random kind of thing to do, and kind of a weird tradition to kind of, you know, start. But like I said, it started like a couple of years ago. So we did have steak in the freezer that were from like, I don't remember exactly when I bought them. I want to say it was like back in like around August or something like that, or September, that I ended up freezing them and put them in the freezer. So we had 4 little like fillets that everybody ended up having, which everybody, especially my mom too, kept like saying how good it was. Like, I guess you know, like my dad did a really good job at grilling them. And then we also ended up doing, I did like a homemade pasta salad, and then we also ended up doing we got steak fries too. So we ended up doing all that to go with dinner for tonight. And then we also ended up watching a movie. We ended up watching The Glass Onion, which was a really, really good movie. It's on Netflix. And I think it was in theaters maybe for like a short period of time or something like that, but it's like a sequel kind of to The Knives Out, which we ended up going to see that in theaters. I think that was honestly like, I want to say 2019 that came out. And so we, like I said, we went to go and see that, and it was really good. And so like, again, the second sort of sequel ended up coming out for that, and it's kind of like a modern day kind of like Clue movie. And so again, it was really good. It's funny too, I almost want to say that this one, I don't know if I would say it was better than the first one, but like the story was just really, really good too. The first one, I think I only saw it the one time, so I don't know if I could say it was better than the first one, but it was definitely just like is equally good, at least. So, and I heard that they, at least after the first movie, they had signed on to do 2 more after that, or, you know, like we're planning on doing 2 more. And then because of the success, actually, I guess, of this second movie now, I think they have enough, like they're planning on actually doing another 2 after this one, so 4 in total, where originally they were planning on 3. So like I said, it was really good. I really like those kind of like whodunit kind of like movies too. Like I know they did the new like Hercule Poirot movies, like what was the one they did? The Murder on the Orient Express a while ago. They ended up doing the new one, I think it was the Death on the Nile. But like I said, those ones were also really good. And I saw the original Murder on the Orient Express. That was, you know, I don't know when that came out, but it was a, you know, much older movie. So again, we ended up like those ones we saw, and we just saw the one recently, I think, that came out. But like I said, those ones were really good also. But I really like those kind of like whodunit, kind of like, you know, murder mystery, you know, kind of Clue, you know, like movies. And so again, like I'm surprised surprised that there's not, especially lately, there has not been a lot of those movies up until, like, again, when they ended up doing the new remastered Murder on the Orient Express, kind of, you know, redid it. And also this Knives Out movie, there's not a lot of, like, those kind of, like, again, whodunit kind of movies. And I feel like those are really, really popular. Like, if there was a little bit more of a, you know, like, desire to kind of, like, you know, again, reboot some of the, like, Agatha Christie books and stuff like that and turn them into movies and all this kind of stuff, I think that people would really like that. And, you know, do it, like, kind of follow the book, but then have, like, kind of a different twist sometimes than, like, how, again, those, you know, books actually went and stuff like that. So, like I was saying, a lot of those, like, books that are much older can be turned into movies, and I don't know why, like, that's not quite as much of a thing, especially with the popularity right now of, like, I know, again, the Glass Onion movie was very popular, and I believe too the Death on the Nile movie too is also very popular. So, like I said, I don't know why there's not a little bit more of a push right now in, like, you know, like, cinema to kind of do more of those. But again, I thought it was really good. We ended up, like I said, watching that, and then we ended up kind of just hanging out a little bit, watching TV afterwards. We were watching some of the football games today too, like the bowl games that were on. We watched the Notre Dame game also, and we also ended up, I made my grocery list sort of too at that point, so we can go to Jewel tomorrow, which there's not too much going on at Jewel, but there were a couple decent deals. The one big thing though, as far as I told you guys, our sort of cleaning and, not like cleaning, but just again to our, like, organizing and getting into the process of, again, doing all of our room moving and kind of some of our renovation kind of stuff too, is that me and Jack got underneath our kitchen sink taken care of, which is like the big thing. So we're doing kind of like multiple projects all at the same time. We were trying to get bedrooms moved around, but at the same time too, we were also trying to get our windows replaced, and also too, that kind of goes in with the process of getting the rooms moved around, because if we're moving furniture anyway, we'll most likely have a lot of this stuff packed up and out of the way so that we can get the windows replaced. So it just makes more sense to kind of do all that at the same time. But just kind of randomly, we are also getting a lot of our plumbing work, trying to get that redone. But there's a couple of different reasons. We have got just a handful of, not major, but sort of a little bit minor, like, plumbing problems right now. Like, we have a sort of a leaky shower drain, or shower, like, faucet in the faucet in the shower, but it's kind of leaking right now a little bit. And also too, like, our kitchen sink, there's actually nothing wrong with that right now, I guess, other than our actual sink is got, like, it doesn't, the back of it, I don't know why, it's like not sealed properly. And so sometimes if we wind up having like a spillage, we'll actually get the water to run off and into underneath the cabinet, which is causing a little bit of a problem. And so I don't know why. I don't think that this was ever, like, I don't know if it just like became unsealed or was never properly sealed. Like, you know, I think they're supposed to like caulk around it because it's like a drop-in sink. And so because of that though, I don't, like I said, I don't know the entire reasoning why, but I know very early on when we moved into the house, like, it wasn't, like, it was kind of, we kind of always noticed that that was a problem. You wind up like putting kind of pressure onto the faucet. You can see that like the back part of it like kind of lifts up, and like I said, you can actually get water. If it winds up spilling and going onto the counter, it will wind up running underneath it and then going underneath to the cabinet under, which, like I said, is obviously not very good. So while we're having a little bit, like I said, that's not a major problem, just don't get water on the countertop and trying to avoid that. You know, again, it's not a big deal. And like I said too, when it's like not like that, it's for the most part kind of okay, but we did notice that it's not like sealed properly. So that's a small problem. We also have really bad water pressure in our house. We also really want to get a water softener because we have horrible, horrible hard water in the house. We also, again, like I said, there's just, it's minor problems. It's nothing that we can't live with right now. And again, haven't been living with, but again, there's kind of like the leak more in the showers kind of thing that we've noticed that we're like, okay, this is kind of, it turned into like, it was just like one one little drip, and now it's starting to become a little bit more of a frequent drip. So like I said, that's like something that we're like, that needs to be taken care of, and since we're doing other stuff, we might as well just get multiple things done. Also too, I think all of our lines need to be replaced. We had, again, I was telling you guys when I think it was over the spring or whatever, we did have a construction, or not construction, but we did have a plumber come out and ended up redoing a section of the sink drainage, because we found out that there was just a hole that was just draining into our crawl space that we didn't know about. My dad actually caught it, surprisingly though, very early, because it was like he didn't notice it. Like he went down there like 1 week, and then like a couple weeks later he went down there again and noticed it. So it was like within a very short period of time. It wasn't like this was like months that had been going on, luckily, so we weren't like causing any foundational problems or anything like that. But it was a little bit of a problem because again, that happened, but we got that all replaced, which was really good. Like I said, that was like in the spring, but as we were like talking with them, we were like, yeah, this probably needs to be done, that probably needs to be done, you know, again, there's, you know, other things that need to be handled and taken care of. So like I was saying, you know, with all of that, we were just like, we should probably get a plumber to come out. And since we're kind of getting all this stuff handled and cleaned up, and, you know, all the stuff moved around anyway, and everybody's, you know, all the space organized and stuff like that, we were just like, we might as well try and get somebody to come out and do this stuff now. Also too, because the whole replacing the windows right now, it might not be able to happen until it gets a little bit warmer. So, like, you know, so if we're like, well, if we're gonna wait on having, you know, like somebody come out to do the windows, we might as well just schedule somebody to come out and do plumbing right now, since that's what we also need done. So like I said, we're working on all of that, and I showed you guys when we cleaned out our closet just the other day, our hall closet, and you know, all of our storage stuff that's in there. And I'm so happy now because we actually also got our vacuum cleaner to fit in the closet. And I was like, oh my gosh, our vacuum cleaner's been floating around from like, it's been in the living room for a while, like, and then in the living room closet, and then it was in the laundry room, and now it finally has a permanent home under the stairs, thankfully. So what me and Jack ended up doing today was we ended up cleaning underneath the kitchen sink and reorganizing all of that, along with all of our like cleaning supplies and stuff. So I'm going to show you guys that because I'm pretty proud of sort of how it ended up turning out under there. So Jack actually ended up getting this all very cleaned up underneath here as well. But you guys should have seen the mess that this thing looked like before and then what it looks like now. It is like night and day. So this was all of sort of our new plumbing that we actually got put in. You guys can see that's all the new like PVC stuff that was in here, which I think we did have PVC in here, but it's just we have actual new stuff now. And so, and it's done like kind of differently I think than it originally was, but because it's funny too, when they were replacing it, the guy was like, wow, this is definitely not how this is supposed to be done. Like the way that they slapped it together was not proper for plumbing, I guess. Which is funny because every time we wind up doing some type of project in the house, or we have somebody come in, they always wind up telling us like, this wasn't done the way it's supposed to be done, and we're like, oh, go figure, because that's just like, you know, how our house has been. Like the same thing too, my dad's an electrician, and he'll wind up randomly finding stuff where he's like, they didn't do this right, like, you know, we have to go and do this the proper way. So I don't know who put our house together, but they ended up not putting it together right. In a lot of ways. So anyways, what I did wind up doing was I did wind up getting a couple bins in here so that I could try and utilize some vertical space, because you guys see we do have a good amount of storage space in here, but I can't do anything else after this point because I got nothing that's higher up, and we got no shelving or anything like that in there. So I figured I can stack some things on top of like doing little bins. So I also have another smaller bin that's right back there, like one of those, like kind of like this one, but it's a little bit smaller, so that I can store, if you guys can see right down there, store some things in here. So this, I do have a extra bin of sort of like excess stuff. Like I do have more like regular dish soap and like a couple extra bottles of like multi-purpose cleaner and stuff like that. I have that, and we're going to store the excess of that in the crawl space, again because you guys know I buy in bulk and everything like that. And in our crawl space, everything stays above freezing, so we don't have to worry about like anything, you know, freezing down there. You know, it has to stay above freezing because the pipes and everything. And we never have had a problem either with any of that happening, you know, even when we were down to negative 30 degrees and all of that. So storing that downstairs, like we do have a box of like some excess like shampoos and stuff like that too, again, because I told you guys we buy in bulk, but we do use some of our crawl space for some storage stuff as well. But we are going to store, like I said, some of the excess, because I do have extra, again, like I was saying, dish soaps and hand soaps and like I said, multi-purpose cleaner, and like even to toilet bowl cleaner and stuff like that. I do have like a couple extra bottles of those things, so we're going to store a couple of those, you know, that in the crawl space of that extra bin, and then when we run out we can just go down there and grab again extra dish soap, extra hand soap, extra, you know, again, multi-purpose cleaner and stuff like that. But mostly what's up here is stuff that like was almost out, like you guys can see, like that's very close to being out. Like I want to just use up some of that stuff, and then I kept some of the fuller bottles more in the back, so that we try and use up the stuff that we have that's less, and then we can move into the bigger bottles. So like there's even some more stuff that's like over there and everything, but compared to, like I said, the way this thing did look to now is amazing. It is like complete night and day. So I am so happy about this and getting this done and handled. But like I was saying too, if we're having any plumbing stuff done, then we obviously need to make sure that some of this stuff is organized, so that when we have a plumber come in, we don't have to be like, oh my gosh, there's so much stuff down here, and you know, where's all this gonna go? We can just hopefully get like a box and temporarily again move this stuff out so that they can get underneath here if they need to, and then again put the stuff you know, in that, and then once they're done, put it all back. But like I was saying, this is way nicer and more accessible than it was prior. But like I said, I would love to be able to do some type of like little metal like kind of thing was what I was thinking, so that like I can have some extra stuff and be able to store like that stuff like more up here. Would be really nice. So like I said, I could get a little more vertical space. So that's why I have like some smaller stuff down here. Like we have a little Cascade, you know, things, and again little other extra soaps and stuff like that, like dish soaps down here, but they're like the smaller bottles, so that again I didn't have like a ton of that stuff all tipping over and everything, because like that stuff doesn't you wind up knocking into it and whatever, and it's falling all over the place, and it's so hard when you have to pick up like all the little ones. So I kept more of the bigger stuff out here, and then the smaller stuff I kept in the tote. And so again too, it all ended up fitting in there better, and like I have extra sponges and like that kind of stuff underneath in the sink. So like I was saying, that is kind of been our that was our project that we were sort of working on today. And again too, still being able to sort of have our family afternoon today as well, sort of celebrating our New Year's Eve, which again was like an early New Year's Eve kind of thing, because like I was saying, we're just like, normally that's what we kind of do on New Year's Eve anyways, like play games, watch movies, you know, that kind of stuff. And so again, since my mom will be either sleeping for a good portion of the day tomorrow or whatever, we're trying to do that like today, and that's what we ended up doing. So anyway, so guys, I'm gonna take a shower and get to bed. But like I was saying, I was happy to get a lot of that stuff done. I also got a lot of laundry done today too, and my mom ended up also, she was working on her office today and ended up making a lot of progress in there too, as far as again getting things again organized and all that kind of stuff, because it's just, I was telling you guys, like the process of us having to move things out to like move things and then store things and you know all that kind of stuff right now is just going to be kind of a little bit of chaos. And so again, we were trying to get and work on you know, some of that, you know, like where are we going to store things? We have to get bins and we have to do all that kind of stuff for some of those things right now. And so it's just a whole process. It's not just like, okay, well, you know, we're going to move rooms and all that. It's like, it's going to be a long thing. So we're just like, the main thing is just like get as much organized as we can, because again, if we have to store again like a tote of my mom's or something like that under the stairs too, we always can. We can, you know, we have like an extra little space of worth of storage stuff or whatever, you know, like I was saying, for temporary use and, you know, that kind of stuff. So that's really good. I was happy that we were able to, like I said, get that done today too. But it's just wherever right now that we can get things sort of organized. Like I've been looking into like the laundry room right now. That's another big thing that I want to try and get organized, because we're gonna probably have to have again them come in to do like we're looking at possibly also replacing our water heater. There's just like a lot of stuff right now that we're like, we want to try and get some of these things done. So our water heater, actually, we didn't replace too long ago because it actually, the old one ended up leaking all over the place. Not fun. But we're looking at possibly getting a tankless water heater right now, which would be very useful, and also storage saving, space saving too, and like I was saying too, with the water softener. So but our water heater is getting close to being at about the time where it starts to kind of either break down or need to be replaced and all that stuff. So we're looking into that too, to save the potential of having it just break down, like I said, and having it leak like we did last time. So we're just about at that point too. And again, we were figuring if we're going to get some of the, you know, again, plumbing stuff handled and taken care of, we might as well get a lot of it handled and taken care of all at the same time. But as I've been sharing with you guys too, especially recently, we've been doing a lot more projects, like again too, just a couple years ago getting the fence, you know, put up, and again too, a lot of those other things being done and taken care of too. So either way, like I said, I will share with you guys though our process of doing all that. But tomorrow we're going to be at the grocery store, so I'll have that haul for you guys. But if you guys did enjoy today's vlog, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, I'd love if you'd subscribe, and I'll see all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye guys.